Hi, my name is Hebert with Skimmers Inc. If you are confronted with an oil contamination problem that requires prompt corrective action, Skimmers Inc. has a solution for you. It's our 6V oil skimming unit. It's rugged, versatile, always dependable, and fully automatic. For the last 40 years, the 6V oil skimmer has been the preferred choice for applications worldwide. Based on feedback we've heard from the field, there are times that require a demonstration period before a purchase commitment can be made. For this reason, we offer a 6V demo unit that allows potential customers to see how easy it is to assemble and operate the 6V demo unit. Installation of this demo unit will require 2 people. Before setting up the demo unit, you will need the following items. You will need an empty 55-gallon drum on site. You will also need a water source nearby, as you will be filling this 55-gallon drum with water. You will also need a second empty container that will house the oil being skimmed. This can also be a 55-gallon drum. And you'll also want to make sure that you have an electrical outlet nearby. Lastly, you'll need a couple tools. One, a flathead screwdriver, and the other, a 7/16" wrench or set of pliers. Your 6V demo unit will contain the following parts, and we'll explain their purpose in greater detail throughout this video. But number one, you'll get a base plate with stub. There's the M3B spout with rod and leg assembly. The 6V oil skimmer unit itself. The safety cover. Your mast with mounting straps. The cantilever boom with swivel. And finally, your collector tube. Now we're ready to begin the installation demo. You'll want to grab your base plate with stub and place it as close to the area to be skimmed as possible. Then you're going to want to grab your empty 55-gallon drum and position it on the base plate as such. We're going to be then filling this drum full of water so it is completely full. This will serve as the counterweight for the demo unit. We do this because it allows for a temporary installation for your demo. Therefore, there's no reason for a permanent installation. Now that your drum is full of water, we are now ready to attach the mast to the stub of the base plate like such. And you want to make sure that your straps are lined up with the back of the mast. So simply put the mast on the stub of the base plate, like such, and then we'll be securing the straps around the drum, which secure it into place. With your 2 straps now placed around the drum, you are now going to want to ratchet them down into place until they lock. And you're done. Now it's time for your cantilever, otherwise known as the boom. You'll notice in the demo unit, the boom will come already with the swivel attached, which is this piece right here. Simply rest the cantilever on top of your mast, shimmy it down until you feel it lock into place. What's nice about the boom, when you're adjusting the distance of your skimmer out over the water, you can unscrew these right here, these screws, to modify how far or how towards the shore you want your skimmer to be placed. So I will tighten these back up. For purposes of the installation, you're going to want to position or swivel your boom off towards the side. This is just for the installation because we're going to be assembling parts. But when we're done with that, when the installation is done, you can then swivel the cantilever back over the water. One thing to notice, this is the tail of the cantilever. This is actually where your oil comes out of. This oil will drain into another container, which can also be a 55-gallon drum or some other type of containment device. And recognize these screws. Once you have your boom in place, you can tighten or loosen to the needs that you have. We're now going to talk about the assembly of the M3B spout to the skimmer. And I'm going to start with the M3B spout to kind of introduce this to you. This is the unit here. And what you'll find when you receive the demo unit in the box, this is the bracket for the M3B spout, and it will most likely be assembled to the back of the unit like this. But here's a good rule of thumb. Depending on which way you're going to want your skimmer facing, whether it's facing towards the water or towards the shore, will dictate on which side you will assemble this bracket. In this example, we want our skimmer facing towards the water. So I will put it here above the spout. If I wanted it facing towards the shore, I would have attached this to the back side. And this bracket comes with screws, nuts, and washers, and you'll need a 1/2-inch wrench to assemble and tighten. We're now going to continue with the assembly of the M3B spout to the 6V skimmer unit. This, what you're looking at, is the back of the 6V skimmer unit. And I did want to take this time to explain that all units will require 6 quarts of 30-weight non-detergent oil. So you're going to want to make sure you have that on hand because it will not ship with the demo unit. And that oil goes in right here. Now it's time to attach your M3B spout to your skimmer. Here's your M3B spout. All demo units will also come with this rod assembly, which has 2 ends on it. For purpose of the installation, take one of the ends off, which will be attached with a screw and nut. You're going to want to slide the rod through the ears of the spout bracket. And we're installing this on the edge of a table. You can also do it on the ground, but it will require the help of a second person. Simply put one of the ends into the foot slot of the skimmer. With that in place, you will then put the other end on the rod and put it into place in the other foot slot, and then put the screw in and tighten. This is very important. This spout bracket has screws in it. There are 2 screws. Once this is in place, you're going to want to tighten these down. This will hold the skimmer into place once we position it on the boom. Now that we have the spout attached to the skimmer itself, we are now going to position the entire unit into the boom. And we'll once again need the help of a second person because this does weigh over 100 pounds. So with the help of that second person, we're going to lift the entire unit and put the spout right into the opening of the boom. You'll notice we just put this in upside down. We are then going to slowly swing it upward into its appropriate skimming position. One quick note, once you have the skimmer in its upright position, you're going to want to make sure that the rod assembly is positioned in a way that both of these scrapers up here and the pulley rim scraper are positioned above the spout so the oil can discharge into it. It's now time to install the collector tube into the 6V skimmer unit. The 6V skimmer utilizes a unique floating tube system. It is a closed-loop tube made of flexible, specially formulated plastic that picks up the oil but not the water. For this install, you'll need a couple tools. One, a flathead screwdriver, and the other, a 7/16 inch wrench. Moving on with the installation of the collector tube, What we want to do first is actually remove the number 6V2 part, and that's this part right here. You'll need your wrench for this. I loosened this beforehand to make it easy for the demonstration, but you want to take off this part. And what this does, when it's in place, it holds the collector tube in place so it doesn't fall off the pulley wheel. So once that part is off, you'll want to then position the collector tube on top of the pulley wheel and then between these two scrapers. And the scrapers will hold the collector tube in place. For installing the tube in the skimmer, you'll need to know how to manually turn the drive wheel. On the left side of the skimmer as you're facing it, the drive shaft comes through the housing of the skimmer, and there is a slot cut into the shaft right here. By inserting a screwdriver in that slot, you can turn the shaft, which in turn moves the drive wheel. With your collector tube over the pulley wheel and between the two scrapers, we now need to position the collector tube over the drive wheel, which is this piece here with the pink ceramic fingers. Once again, you'll need your screwdriver, and you'll want to pinch the collector tube between two sets of the ceramic fingers, and then clockwise rotate the drive shaft with your screwdriver, bringing the collector tube into position like such. Then we still need to position the collector tube so it lays between the ceramic fingers and between these two power blocks. So you'll need to continue to turn the drive shaft with your screwdriver until you see that the collector tube falls into place. And once again, you want to make sure, this is an important part, that your collector tube is between these two blocks. With the collector tube in place now, we can go ahead and put back that number 6V2 part we took off in the beginning. Simply put it back into place and screw it back into place with your 7/16 inch wrench. With your collector tube now in place, it's time to attach your safety cover. All demo units will come with this safety cover. The purpose of this is to protect your fingers or any other objects from getting into these moving parts. Your 6V unit, when it arrives, will already have the bolts for this safety cover in place. There's two on top, there's one on the side. You want to unscrew these bolts and then put your safety cover on top of the skimmer. Once again, put the bolts back into place, two on top, one on the side. The housing of the unit is already drilled and tapped to accept these bolts. Once your safety cover is in place, you're once again going to want to make sure that your unit has oil. You are now ready to swing your 6V demo unit into place. Simply swing it to the area of the water to be skimmed that you want it, ensuring that this collector tube is resting on the water. Once you have that in place, you can tighten these screws to lock it into place. Once that's done, you can plug in the unit and watch it go to work. That completes this video demo. At Oil Skimmers Incorporated, we're confident this 6V unit will solve all your oil skimming needs. Please call your local representative or our corporate office at 1-800-200-4603 with any questions. Thank you.